It's October 11th. Had a lot of dreams. I don't remember if I dreamt. But I woke up. I don't remember if this was in between the dreams. But I woke up and I was seeing flashes. I was seeing cartoon faces. They're just images. And they were shifting. But the theme was that they were all cartoon images. And I can't pinpoint what images they were. But they were cartoon. They were all cartoon images. They were all cartoon images. They were shifting. Like they were shifting. Like literally, like the face of a cartoon. But these were like faces of people in cartoon format. And they just keep shifting and shifting and shifting. And then I had dreams. It was with my family. And we were in TJ. Oh, there were different life events. There were different life events occurring. And it had, one of them was around the loss, so we just had. And through, there's just so many people. And so many different events. And they're all interconnected. There were a lot of different emotions. But the feeling was that it was all interconnected. There was so many events. Gosh, there's so much in one event, it was surrounding the loss we just had. It was surrounding the loss. And there were my aunts were there. I was triggering people. And it got to the point where I had to shut up. And I sensed it. That people were getting triggers. I just stayed quiet. They were getting upset. Then it shifted to, what order was it in? Shifted to another event. And this other event was like my mom's side of the And one of my aunts was there, but this aunt isn't able to cross over. She was upset, and she was upset with me. On this side, the first event, there was one aunt. Trying to see which aunt it was that was upset with me because I was talking too much. And I knew they were grieving, so I just stayed quiet. But for whatever reason, even my presence was a trigger to this person. And then this pod, because sometimes we have to refer to my family members in pods because it's on my dad's side. There's this. His dad had multiple wives, and there's pods of kids from each family. So I have aunts and uncles, but I also have like aunts and uncles that are like half technically, but for me they're just aunts and uncles, but they're different pods. And I was talking about that yesterday with my cousin. We both look at our situation the same way. We're like, when we think of certain people in our family, we're like, okay, that's that pod. Because it just, but it was just interesting because it was like, this was like one pod, and that was what was going on. And then in this pod, it was one of my aunts, but I don't even talk to this aunt anymore. Like, it's like people don't really talk to. They're in that pod. That one aunt was mad at me, and in this pod, I didn't say anything. It was just my sheer presence. In one, I was talking, and whatever was I was saying was triggering this one aunt, and she was kind of talking back, really. And then I just stayed quiet after that because I was like, okay, clearly I'm triggering this person. I don't remember what I was saying, but it was clear that I was triggering. And so I just stayed quiet. And then this pod, it was just, I didn't say anything. And it was just my sheer presence that triggered this aunt. It was just my sheer presence because I wasn't saying anything in this pod. And then in this pod, it was my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family in a certain pod. This was a mixture of my mom's side of the family, and then another mixture of my dad's side of the family, but of another pod. And this one, it was the family members from both sides, my mom and my dad's, that are kind of like enmeshed, like they can hang out together. They're usually hanging out together. But this pod was more my mom's side of the family. And I was there. And it was a lot of my cousins. And it was also around a situation. But it was like an it wasn't a wedding, it was like an anniversary or what's it called? Engagement party. It was an engagement party. My sister was in this one, in this pod. And in this pod, it was an engagement party. My sister was upset. This one too. And this one, My sister wasn't the one with my aunt. They were the two connections from the other dream, and in this part it was more my mom's side of the family, and they were younger, so I know it was a lot more of my cousins. And then some cousins asked me about my ex, because I went by myself. Oh gosh. And then in between each, there was water in between each event. So I had to travel to each event via water and a raft. Via water and a raft. But there was someone that I was traveling with in this raft. And this person was shot. This person was shot. Gosh, it was so much. It's just, the feeling overall was just this overwhelming, like, so drama. You're just drama. And that usually tends to be like the theme in my dad's family. It's just drama. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to sit with this one, because this one, there's just so much going on in the stream, and my role was different in each. But there were three. I remember that. There were 3 scenarios, 3 pods of families. I had to sit with that one. That's a lot that went on. So that's why I'm struggling if it was all at once or if it was parts of it. And then there were waves. I saw the waves and the colors in between one of those dreams. And that's when I saw the cartoon characters. And it was so clear, like just the cartoon. And there were people in cartoon images, and it was just shifting, flashing in my face. And I'm like, and I remember being awake and seeing it, and I'm like, I'm seeing these images. And I don't know if it has to do with my uncle. I'm trying to remember if my uncle was also artistic. I mentioned it before that my dad is very artistic. He's very artistic. And I'm trying to remember my uncle, because he used to live with us when I was younger. I'm trying to remember if he also drew. Gosh. I'm gonna have to write this one down. I don't forget it. I'm trying to remember what the emotional response was different for each one. In one, it felt like I was pushing buttons with talking. And then I realized that they're grieving, so I just shut up. And then in another one, I'm not saying anything. And then I don't think I am. And then in the other one, but people were still getting upset with me. There was still this element of people being upset. No, I was upset with them. I was upset. I was upset. It was mutual. The other celebration, and there were different celebrations. And then this one, the engagement party. I didn't have a dress, an outfit. But then I wanted to wear like a suit. Like I was conflicted as to what to wear. And then someone approached me, and I was by myself. So many people, and I didn't know a lot of people. But it felt like it was my cousin, and one of my cousins approached me, and he asked me about my ex. I was by myself. I said, yeah. Oh, gosh. I just wanted to record the major themes in case I forgot. But it must have been triggered because of the loss that we found out about last night. Because it was just all family. It was all the Diaz, and it was drama. Like that was the main theme over it too. It was just drama. I don't want drama. It's just like really. I mean that's one of the reasons why I limit my interactions, because it's a lot. And my cousin and I were talking about it. We're like, it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming with how our family members operate. And like I mentioned before, like her and I hold similar roles in our family, where we help, people tend to gravitate towards us, right? We're like parentified children. And they come to us. I mean, before, at least for me, where I would try to solve their problems. And then I started stepping back and creating boundaries on my own. No more. It's too much. But now, like, at least with my dad, there was still, there's still this element of, when there's loss, but there's, it's a trauma, and there's regression when a trauma occurs, a loss occurs. People regress back. And that's what I experienced yesterday with my dad. He was like a little kid, and I had to help him ground and just acknowledge, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel lost. You're not lost. You're okay. What's around you? Are you sitting? Are you sleeping? Are you not sleeping, laying down? Just, going through the 5 senses and grounding him. Trying to bring him back to the present. You're okay. I mean, it's incredible what stuff like this happens. But those 3 pods, I'm going to have to sit with that one for a little bit and see if I can identify each person in each pod. But this 3s was there. It was clearly there. It was 3 pods. Family members. And then the uniqueness of the events that were unfolding, and then how I was traveling from each event. There seemed to be this water in between, and a car. There was a car and water, earth and water. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in. I have to sit with that one today. Good thing I don't work today. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. It's crazy. My sister-in-law's right. She's like, it's good that you have time to process your dreams. Because it takes a while. It's like this one's like, whoa, this one's gonna take a while. I just want to speak to that. That was weird. Okay, I need to wake up. Alright.
Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.